Hi everyone, it's Missy and it's Christmas time, so I got a little Christmas project for you. I have made this mini Santa stocking cap. Now this can be used as an ornament, but I'm actually making it for a 11.5-inch fashion doll such as Barbie. And the supplies you need to make this cap are red worsted weight yarn, number 4. I also have a fuzzy furry yarn. This is from Bernat. It was called Pipsqueak and it is size number 5, but any fun fur yarn should work. You also want to have a 1/4 inch diameter white pom-pom, some tacky glue, a pair of scissors, and I'll be using a size C or a 2.75 millimeter crochet hook. Now, the gauge I don't think is really that important. You could use a size bigger like a D if you don't have a size C in your set. So because I'm going to show you again on the doll, like you see in the picture, this hat is actually kind of, it just sits on top of her head. It doesn't exactly, like, it doesn't have to be like a perfect size to get it to fit. It could be like a little bit bigger and it would still fit her. So if in doubt, just make it a little bit bigger and you should be fine. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take the red yarn and we're going to make a slip knot. So we just wrap the yarn around in a loop, pull the strand under, and then you take your hook, you go over, under, and just kind of pick up this loop. Then you pull tight, and that's your slip knot. And then we're going to chain 4. So we yarn over our hook, pull the loop through, and that's our first chain. Yarn over again, pull through the loop, it's chain 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to slip stitch in the first chain that we made. So we go right back into the stitch, yarn over, and pull the yarn through both loops that were on the hook. So you have a ring. And mine's kind of tight, but it's there. The next thing you're going to do is chain 1. And then we are going to single crochet 8 times into the center of the loop. So I'm just going to poke my hook through the center of the loop, yarn over, pull through a loop, yarn over again, and pull through both loops on my hook. And that's 1 single crochet. So single crocheting again, I'm going to stick my hook through the middle of the ring, yarn over, pull the yarn through the middle of that ring. So there's 2 loops on my hook, yarn over, and pull that through both loops. So that's 2. Just going to keep continuing going around. Once you have completed 8 single crochet stitches, you should have a nice ring like this. And you want to slip stitch in the first single crochet. So you can kind of count backwards, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So this is the stitch I want to slip stitch into. So I just yarn over and pull through all the stitches that were on my hook. And that's round 1. And we're going to keep continuing working in rounds through this entire project. So for round 2, I'm just going to chain 1, and I'm going to single crochet in each stitch. So I'm just going to go right into my first stitch, And this project, when you're working on it, is going to curl upwards, which is completely okay. That's how we're going to get that nice cone shape for our hat. After I've single crocheted in each stitch, I want to slip stitch in the first single crochet of the round. So there will be a total of 8 single crochet stitches for round 2. For round 3, we're going to do what's called an increasing round. And to get started with that, we are going to chain 1. And then in the next stitch, we are going to single crochet twice. So just like before, I'm going to put in a single crochet, and then to single crochet twice, I'm just going to stick my hook right through that stitch that I did in the first place, and just make another single crochet stitch in there. So 2 stitches, or 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. In the next single crochet, in the next stitch, I'm just going to single crochet once. And then in the next stitch, I'm going to single crochet twice. So every other stitch, I'm going to add a single crochet to the round. So the next single crochet, I'm going to do 1. Next stitch, I do 2. So when you have finished this round, you should have a total of 12 single crochet stitches. Once you finish your 12 stitches, you want to slip stitch in the first single crochet of the round. The round 4 is the same as round 2. We just chain 1 and we single crochet in each stitch around just 1 time. So you will have a total of 12 stitches when you have finished the round. And in all the rounds, we always slip stitch in the first single crochet. So I'll go and try to finish this round, and then we'll come back and do round 5. So we've come back to another increasing round. We'll chain 1, and the first stitch we will single crochet twice. And then in the next stitch we'll single crochet once. Next stitch twice, we'll single crochet, and the next stitch we'll single crochet once. So as we continue this pattern around our little hat, we should have a total of 18 single crochet stitches, and then we will slip stitch in the first single crochet of the round, and then we'll be ready to go on to round 6. For round 6, we will chain 1, and we will single crochet in each stitch around. So we should have a total of 18 stitches for round 6. And it's really getting kind of hard for me to see the stitches as it's getting darker, but when we come to the end of the round, we will slip stitch in the first single crochet, And then we will be ready for our last round that we'll do in the red color, which is round 7. Okay, we have come to our last increasing round. We chain 1. In the first stitch we will single crochet twice. In the next stitch we will single crochet once. And then we're going to repeat the pattern around. So the next stitch we'll single crochet twice. The next stitch we'll single crochet once. So in this round, when we have finished all of our increases, we should have a total of 27 single crochet stitches. I just finished my 27th single crochet, so I am slip stitching into the first single crochet of the round. Like I said, that's the last of the red yarn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a tail a couple inches. I'm going to fasten off. So all I do is I yarn over and I pull the yarn tail through the loop without trying to snag the yarn. There we go. And you just pull tight and then you have this lovely, it looks like a bell to me, this bell shape. The yarn up on top you can weave in. I weaved it in as I went, so I'm just going to cut the tail off, but you can take a needle and sew it in. So that's out of the way. And then you can weave this one in too and cut it off, but I'm going to weave it in as I go. So I'm going to switch over to the fun fur yarn. And then I'm making a slip knot just like I did with the red yarn. And this is where it gets to be a little tricky. I'm going to say you want to be a little bit experienced crocheting if you're working with this kind of yarn, because you can't see as well as with worsted weight yarn. And you can use white worsted weight yarn. It just won't have that little fuzzy border, which I think kind of gives the hat its cute appeal. But what you do is you just I'm going to switch my rounds. I'm going to work from the outside now instead of the inside. So I'll just be inserting my hook into the last single crochet stitch that I made in round 7. And then I'm just going to slip stitch. So I yarn over and I pull through all the loops. And moving my tails to the back, I'm going to chain 1, and now I'm ready to single crochet. So I'm going to single crochet in the same stitch that I joined my yarn to, and single crochet in each stitch around. And like I said, I'm weaving in my tails, but I'm just going to go right into the next stitch and single crochet all the way around. So I'll have a total of 27 single crochet stitches when I am finished with this round. And this is probably going to go really slow because I want to make sure I'm getting the yarn through all the stitches. But as you can see, I can't really see where the stitches are with this type of yarn. All I see is like a fuzzy border. It almost looks like I sewed it on, which I think is really, really cool. So I've single crocheted all the way around, so all I'm going to do is a slip stitch in the first single crochet, and then I'm ready to fasten off. So I'm just going to cut a small short tail, pull the yarn through, and that's the hat. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flip it inside out because we had the wrong side facing out. And that's where the fuzzy, now you can see it's really fuzzy. If we had left it the other way, it wouldn't have been as fuzzy for some reason. And then I just weave in my tail. I'm going to do it with a crochet hook. And hopefully you guys can see this, but there's like these little bumps. That's the stitches. So I just take my hook, go through there, take my tail, and pull it through. What I also like about this fun fur yarn is you don't have to be too picky about weaving this in because it looks like it's part of the stitch. And you can take a needle and thread it through that way too if you're more comfortable with that. But I'm just gonna, like, just keeping my tools that I use when I crochet to a minimum, so almost done. I think this little part I'm just going to cut off. There we go. So for the finishing touch, I want to add my pom-pom. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to take my glue. I'm just going to put a dot right on top where that center hole is for the ring. Like so. Then I take my pom-pom and just place it right on top. Then I just let it dry for a few minutes. Otherwise, you got your nice little Christmas stocking cap. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment below and I'll be happy to answer. I really love this pattern because it's quick and easy, and you guys can make it whatever color you want. If you want it green or blue, or you can even change out the pom-pom color. You can change the color each round and have it striped. I'd love to see your creations, so make sure that you either post a picture to my Facebook page or Twitter or Instagram and let me know. All you have to do is check out my social media links down in the description box. Otherwise, thanks for watching and have a Merry Christmas, everyone. Bye!